Ninjago, love it or hate it, as LEGO fans, we all know what it is. It is a very, very impressive series that has spanned almost 13 years with over 200 episodes, and I thought of giving myself, as a big fan of the show, the challenge of figuring out, in my opinion, of course, what are the top 10 best episodes of the entire series. Now, this was something that was very difficult to do. Picking only 10 episodes was no easy task. But I did it. Now, this will be covering episodes from Masters of Spinjitzu and the 2019 series just titled Ninjago. So, without further ado, let's get into this. And reminder that this is all just my personal opinion, and these are what I think and what are my favorite 10 episodes from the series. So, let's get into it. Coming in at number 10, we have Season 4, Episode 3, Versus. This episode is on here because this is the first time we see two ninjas really duke it out, and we get a lot of good stuff in this episode where we learn about Skylar's power. We learn that it's not actually fire and that she is the master of amber. We finally get to see Zane, and we get to see him try and break free in this episode, and we also, again, we get to see Jay and Cole duke it out, ending the terrible love plot from Season 3. Now, this episode isn't here because I really did enjoy that fight between Jay and Cole, and the stuff with Zane was also really cool. Getting to see Zane back and seeing Zane's amazing new look in this episode was just something I love to see. And Jay and Cole finally kindling their friendship and becoming best friends again, with Cole sacrificing himself at the end of the episode so Jay can continue on in the tournament. Coming in at number 9, we have Season 5, Episode 8, Grave Danger. Now, I think it's pretty self-explanatory why this episode has made it onto the top 10 list, because this was a pretty major episode. In this episode, in the hunt to stop Moro, the ninja visit the tomb of the first Spinjitzu master and have to undergo a bunch of tests in order to get hold of the realm crystal before Moro can use it to bring on the cursed realm into their world. This episode was a really fun episode of the ninja kind of having to use some of their smarts and figure out all these puzzles while Moro is quickly behind them, hunting them down step by step, and we get some cool action scenes with Moro and possessed Lloyd in here. Obviously, in this episode, we do have the huge moment of the ninja visiting the tomb and the grave of the first Spinjitzu master, and we have a very amazing and heartfelt scene of the ninja honoring the first Spinjitzu master, which is why this episode had to make it in the top 10 list. Also, I do want to note, even though they haven't really been utilized in the series since then, this episode also did have the future reflections, which I still hope come into play before the end of the next series. Coming in at the number 8 spot, we have Season 16, Episode 12, The Council of the Crystal King. And this was a huge episode, and it was also the mid-season finale for the latest season and the final season of Ninjago, Crystallized. After years of speculating who the Ventstone buyer is, this is the episode where we finally got it revealed, and also along with the reveal that Harumi was still alive, who had thought to be dead since Season 9. This episode is also a showcase of some spectacular animation and fight scenes between the ninja versus the mechanic, which is why it had to make it on this list, especially for that beautiful Harumi reveal at the end of the episode, which just left everyone shocked, and we had that as a cliffhanger for like 2 months, and that cliffhanger was enough momentum to keep us wondering and guessing what was going to go on in the second half of the season. Coming in at the number 7 spot, we have Season 8, Episode 2, The Jade Princess. This was a big episode, especially for Season 8, given that this episode really set the tone for what the season was going to be. Looking back on this episode, quite a lot did happen between Lloyd and Harumi strolling the park, setting them up to be maybe more of friends in the future. And of course, the attack on the royal palace, not only killing the king and queen, but also killing Hutchins, Harumi's royal guard, who was looking after her, in an amazing fight sequence towards the end of the episode, where we really got to see how the ninja handled fighting and everything after this time skip. We got some really great callbacks and jokes to like forearms and everything. It was a really great and enjoyable episode, and really setting up the mystery behind what are these masks and who are these people known as the Sons of Garmadon attacking the castle, and why do they want to bring back Lloyd's father. So this episode did a lot for the season, and it had a lot to set up, and leaving Harumi with almost no one by the end of the episode, joining the ninja team to hunt down the Sons of Garmadon. And also, this episode just had some amazing music, which puts it in the top 10 episodes alone. Coming in at number 6, and this is definitely one that is on everybody's list, is Season 2, Episode 12, Return of the Overlord. This was, if not one of the biggest episodes, if not the biggest episode of Ninjago we've ever had, with the Overlord possessing Garmadon, and Garmadon like literally just starting to take over Ninjago. By the end of the episode, we had what we thought was the beginning of the final battle. No, the beginning of the final battle, with Lloyd versing Garmadon in this episode, and even evil Nia showing up and fighting the ninja, with the episode ending leaving the ninja stranded, hopeless on the Dark Island. This was one of those episodes where you better have hoped you caught it the day it aired on TV, because you knew everyone at school tomorrow was going to be talking about it and discussing the major events that happened in this episode. This is easily one of the best episodes of Season 2, and if not the series. It was such a good episode, and Lloyd and the Overlord and Garmadork all going at it was such an amazing and just an awesome thing to watch. I have no doubt that this is on many, many people's top 10 lists. Now entering the top 5 area, the big 5. Starting out at number 5, we have Season 3, Episode 8, The Titanium Ninja. One of the saddest episodes we've ever gotten for the series, and honestly an amazing finale. Having the ninja have to find their way out of space and coming down to take down the Overlord for what they hope is the final time, but we know that is not the case given how Crystallized plays out in the very, very far future. This episode ends with Zane sacrificing himself to kill the Overlord and save all of Ninjago. Although this episode does have some things that hold it back, like instantly revealing by the end of the episode that Zane has found a way to keep himself alive with that little post-credit scene with Pixel, which I did not enjoy. I thought that was a bad decision. They should have left it till Season 4 for us to reveal and know that Zane is alive. But for the massive impact it had on the show, and for me, just honestly really loving the last little bit of this episode, as this is my personal top 10 list, I had to put this episode in the top 5, but it didn't really fit anywhere beyond 5 and under, so that is why this episode comes in at number 5 on the list. Now, these next 4 were extremely hard to pinpoint where I wanted them to go, because I love all of these episodes so much, and they all do such great things for individual characters and some of my favorite characters. So coming in at number 4, we have Season 13, Episode 16, The Son of Lilly. This is the season finale of Season 13, Master of the Mountain, ending Cole's arc in such a beautiful way, with Cole versus the Skull Sorcerer unlocking the power of his mother and honoring his mother, and Princess Vanya being now crowned King Vanya. And this season and this episode really set up the mystery of who is buying this Vengestone from the ex-prince being the Skull Sorcerer. It set up so much stuff for the future of Ninjago, and this episode did so much for Cole's character. And honestly has one of the best scenes of Ninjago, with Cole unlocking the power of the Spinjitzu burst, realizing that it wasn't the swords, it was the power within his mother, and Cole getting in tune with the earth was such a sweet scene. So you know, this episode definitely had to make it on the top 10 list, and it is such an amazing episode with one of the greatest scenes and greatest arcs for a character in the series. Coming in at the number 3 spot, we have an episode from one of my favorite seasons of Ninjago. That is Season 15, Episode 15, Nyad. This was such just a whole episode. For it only being 10 minutes, this really felt like we were watching an original episode of the series with a 22-minute runtime, because this episode had so much in it, and it did everything it wanted to so well. Of course, in this episode, Nyad had to make the ultimate sacrifice, giving up who she is and who she is on the inside to become Nyad, to save Jay from drowning and ultimately defeat Kalmar. And of course, earlier on in the episode, we also got Nyad versus Kalmar, which was just an amazing fight scene, and the animation went crazy and really just showed off why Nyad is my favorite character in the series, because her arc is so well done, and this episode ended her character's story so perfectly. It's a shame that Crystallized exists. But ignoring Crystallized, this is basically a perfect and flawless episode of this series. I see nothing wrong with this episode, and it's just a good and emotional episode to watch with great fight scenes, great emotion, and it just makes you feel so many things once this episode ends, and you just kind of sit there like, oh man, I just watched that. My reaction to this episode is actually up on the channel if anyone is interested. Coming in at the number 2 spot, we have Season 8, Episode 7, Game of Masks. Now, this was a huge episode with only one real problem in my opinion, and that was the fact that we already knew the reveal was coming. But that didn't stop this episode from being any less great. In this episode, we get the reveal, or more so, Lloyd gets the reveal that Harumi is the Quiet One. After the ninja learned it last episode and they got captured by the Sons of Garmadork, this episode really focuses on Lloyd versus Harumi. Lloyd and Harumi exploring the cave, and Lloyd coming to the realization that Harumi is the Quiet One, and we get a great little action sequence there where we get to see what the new mask does, and we get that really cool Harumi stone, which is, by the way, a very expensive figure to get. Thank you to Steph TG for sending me the figure as some fan mail. I really appreciate that. Little shout out there for you. This episode is honestly my second favorite episode, and it has my favorite scene from the entire show. Like, seriously, I can watch that scene on loop over and over and over again, and of course we get the classic lines from Kai, "We bout to get all ninja up Anya, and that is why this episode needed to be in the top 2 spot. Before we get into the top 1, the number 1 best episode in my opinion, I like to give some honorable mentions with season 6, episode 10, The Way Back. That was such a great finale, such a heartfelt finale, where it really showed what Jade's character can do. Coming in, of course, in another honorable mention, we have Season 2, Episode 13, The Rise of the Spinjitzu Master, where we get to see the Golden Ninja in Lloyd's golden form for the first time, and the last honorable mention is Season 3, Episode 1, The Search. This is a classic episode. I know this episode word for word, which it surprises even me that I didn't put this in the top 10 list, but there are some better episodes than this. And this number 1 spot, it might be a little controversial. Some of you may not agree with it. Some of you may not even remember that this episode happened, but I love this episode. And that leaves us with coming in at the number 1 spot. It is season 2, episode 6, Wrong Place, Wrong Time. In this episode, the ninja try to stop Garmadork when he goes back in time to stop the ninja from forming, where we get to see the current ninja of that season go to the pilot episodes where it all began. And for what was originally supposed to be the final season of Ninjago, you could see why they did this. This episode was such a cool episode to watch, with the ninja of the present talking with the ninja of the past, and Kai working together, double Kais to defeat double Garmadons. It was such an amazing thing to watch, and getting to revisit those pilots in a new and unique way, and seeing the ninja trying to fix the timeline with all the ninja coming in with the golden weapons at the end, shooting them into space, setting up what would happen in season 3. I mean, what is there to not love about this episode? This is, of course, my favorite episode of the series, and one I thought they're definitely not going to expect this when I was writing down this top 10 episode list. So with that being said, that is my top 10 episodes of Ninjago. Now remember, this is just my personal opinion. If you disagree, you are wrong. I'm obviously just kidding, but I'd love to hear you guys' top 10s down below and what you guys think of my top 10. This isn't the only top 10 list. This isn't the definitive top 10 list. This is, again, just my personal opinion and the episodes I love the most. And I couldn't even fit all the episodes I love on this list because there's just so many episodes to this amazing series. Once again, be sure to share your top 10 lists down below. I would love to hear them and see where they compare and stack up to my top 10 lists, and be sure to rank mine down below. Let me know what you think. I know there's definitely going to be some people who definitely dislike my list, and yes, I know season 15, season 16, it's however you want to say it, as Tommy Andresen said himself. With that being said, that is it from me. I pass it on to you guys in the comment section down below, and I thank you guys for watching, and I do want to give a big props to my channel members for supporting the channel and videos just like this. If you guys do want to join and view all the available perks, be sure to click down below to see all the perks you can get. And if you want, you can support the channel. I don't know why that took me so long to say, but thank you guys so very much for watching this video. I hope you guys do stick around for more videos, and I see you in the next one. Peace out, and have an amazing rest of your day.
Or what?
Or we'll have to get a ninja up on ya!
What does that even mean?